Waikura Linwood Central Heathcote Community Board, Sally Buck. And Alexander Davids.
Good morning, everybody.
Kia ora, everyone.
Just wait for...
Oh,
Not ready yet.
you ready?
Are you ready?
Yes, sorry, I thought you were... Sorry, I didn't
Good morning,
hear that.
everyone. I'd like to just take our report that's been read. We've only got one part A, which is about a lease for a cafe, and it's pretty straightforward. We have very exciting news, of course, about the Linwood Pool, and that the contracts have been let, and we've got a contractor, so that's really exciting. And we have a few slides for you here, just on what's been happening in more recent times since our report was written. So I'm just going to let Alex talk to this one.
Okay, so with the Linwood Central Heathcote Community Board, we've decided to try and reach out to our communities more. So we had our first Have Your Say for this term. We decided to start doing things a bit differently. So after actually speaking and connecting with our communities, we've found that some engage better face-to-face. This may seem very obvious, but we don't always remember that we have a lot of people who are not connected through technology. So we've decided it's time to step up and create more opportunity for citizens to be involved in local democracy. We had a lot of positive feedback from those that came to speak with us, and we had approximately 20 that came specifically due to the fact that we had put on that event.
Do the next one tonight.
So the community board had our second year running of the Edible Garden Awards on the 4th of March. It was held at Matukataku Takutaku. In Sumner, we had 20 awards presented, including Best Sustainability Features, Best Organic Garden, and the most popular was clearly the Best Tomato Award. We had Michael Reynolds from Roemata Food Commons give the opening address, and again, this was a really well attended event that connected people across the community. We just want to say a big thank you to Kaharoa Manihira for blessing the Te Ara Arongo, our new Central City Park and connection area between Gloucester and Worcester Street. We had a fantastic performance by the local kura kaupapa Te Pā. We had a great turnout from the community on the day, and I would totally recommend heading down and checking it out, even if it's just to look at the new bug hotels they've installed. It sounds strange, but they're really fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we've got a little video.
Thanks, Ellen. Oh, we've got a wee video. Hey. Thank you, Alex. And on 29th of February, we had our Bromley Fair again, and this was another successful event in our area. Another one that we support, is enjoyed by everybody. It's been happening for quite a few years now. And every month we have a gathering of all the communities, groups and NGOs and all sorts of different groups in our area, and they meet up often at one of their organisations or at Smith Street in the boardroom there. But this time they decided to meet at the Roy Marta Food Commons, which is at Radley Park. And you can see them there at the great big new table that's been installed there. And the attendees, they learned all about the histories and objectives of the Commons, and then they went on an educated tour around that, led by Michael Reynolds, who runs the Commons. Recently we had Kids Hub, the group, a visit from Kids Hub, come to the community board and present to us. Now, Kids Hub is an early childhood initiative set up by the Ministry of Education and Police and NGOs. It was called You Matter to Us. And this initiative arose because of all the social problems in Jolly Street and around that area. We heard from Jan Dobson from the Ministry of Education and from the children. And we just got a wee video to play. But before we do that, I would just like to say that this is an initiative set up, and we're fully supportive of it. We think it's a great idea. But it's yet another initiative set up by the Ministry of Education whereby it's a good pilot and it works and it's going really well, and then they decide to pull out the funding. And so we get left with having to fund it. And we're a wee bit concerned that this could come back heavily on our community board to end up funding these type of things solely by ourselves. And we will be looking at what they're asking for and bringing that back to you as well. So we'd like to play the video of the children singing for us. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Jake, seconded by Yanni. Just that last one, the Kids Hub, because it's such a good concept, you know, to get NGOs collaborating with, you know, obviously the Ministry of Education and others, and but I understand that they have ongoing challenges in terms of you know, funding beyond a pilot. You know, I know that having a background in central government, I know that finding money for pilots is a lot easier than finding money for the ongoing commitment. But I mean, what you're describing to us is an incredibly successful program. Yeah. So what I'm going to propose is that the Chief Executive and I take that issue up with central government, just as an example of one of the many such situations where those pilots need to have a pathway to permanent or more sustainable funding mechanisms.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. As you would realise that they usually set them up in areas that they have done set them up, then it becomes like the problem of one part of the city. Yeah, that's right.
Through you, Madam Mayor. Once we have established our Youth Advisory Committee, that will be the place to bring these kind of concerns so that we can actually be a voice for these groups and as the Mayor has said, to sort of further work that has to be done to support them and to find ways to do that. So once we get ourselves established as a committee, then that will be the place that those groups can come to and bring those concerns. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Sorry? Oh, sorry, I thought people had. Okay,
Okay, just wanted to reflect on the signing of the Linwood Pool contract. You know, that's something that the community's been waiting for over 20 years. And I know some people like former councillor David Cox, who's no longer with us, but he was a huge champion along with Bob Todd, the former chair of the local community board. So, you know, I think it's a testament to a huge amount of work that's gone on way before, well, most of us were here. Maybe there's one or two still remaining, but actually a lot of people have gone before us who have worked so hard to make that happen. And I think it's a really important milestone to celebrate for Linwood. And the design really, the cultural narrative around the design is around inclusiveness and of harmony and of safe passage and welcoming. And I think, you know, given that we're getting close to March 15th, that's a really important message to go out there and a really important symbol of unity. So just wanted to acknowledge the progress on that. It is a really exciting project that people have been looking forward to for a very long time. And also just to touch on the number of the community events that were put up in the board report. And I think we've heard it from the other boards as well. But where we've got communities being able to come together and connect, it's so important for that strength of our community. And I just think we shouldn't underestimate the power of those local events and the impact that they can make on just giving people an opportunity and for their positive well-being. So just wanted to acknowledge that in our report. There was one thing that wasn't really touched on, which is I think quite cool as well, and that is that Mobile came and spoke to our community board about the lines that come from Littleton, and at their cost they're relocating it away from the school and putting it alongside the railway track. And that's actually really nice, given especially what we've heard earlier this morning, to see a company taking social responsibility, moral responsibility for doing something to address a potential safety risk in our community around one of our schools. So I think that's just worth acknowledging.
Absolutely right, Yanni, but it is in their own interests as well, because they would prefer it away from the school. It's safer for them and for any type of interaction of people with their lines and things. Yeah.
good. Look, thank you very much. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thanks very much.